everybody to Standing Waters Podcast, New Way Restoration and Cleaning. Your host, Bill German. Today we have the Gooch.
The Gooch.
We got Jimmy the Gooch with us today.
The bar.
He is the bar. We did introduce him a few podcasts ago as the bar. Jim McKenzie's with us. Jim has almost 18 years of experience in restoration. Yes. Right? In all aspects of restoration. But today, we're going to talk about mold. There's lots of myths. There's lots of truths. There's lots of dangers. There's lots of things to talk about with mold and microbial growth. So we're going to, and Jim and I, we can talk about this for hours, right? But we can definitely go down this rabbit hole, but
we'll keep it brief.
We're going to try to keep it condensed, right? We're trying to do that. I feel like my big cup's in the way today. Hey, whatever. We got new cups, Christmas presents. All right, Jim, let's talk about some mold, buddy. I mean, my first question to you is, what is mold and why does it form?
Mold is Mother Nature's self-decaying mechanism.
Yes.
What would our wonderful world look like if we didn't have mold? We'd have trees stacked to the heavens.
Yeah.
Mold is a type of fungus that thrives in damp and humid environments.
Correct.
When we're talking about common places that mold forms in, inside your home, bathrooms, basements, kitchens, crawl spaces, areas that's been affected by flooding that weren't mitigated or remediated quickly enough. And that's just it, quick. You got to act fast when you get water on the floor and you have these water events,
Yeah.
Mold can grow within about 72 hours, under the right conditions.
And it'll come back, right?
It's fungus,
I just had, just yesterday, we had, him. And somebody asked me yesterday, he's like, you remember that stuff you gave me to clear my mold off my daughter's bathroom ceiling? I said, yeah. He said, it came back. Well, it gives me a little more investigative, tidbits of information, right? Yeah. It came back. I'm like, well, it will. And they looked at me funny. It will. If you don't deal with it in an appropriate manner, it will come back. So that tells me that's it. That wasn't just some growth on your paint in your bathroom, in your ceiling. That's going to be a growth, and it needs to be dealt with in an appropriate fashion. You can't just wipe it off. It's going to come back.
There's variables, that you factor in when it comes to how do we get rid of it? How do we abate it, remove it?
Yeah.
You have to remove the moisture.
Yeah.
First.
It needs a drink, right?
It needs a drink. It has to have food.
Yeah.
Organic food.
If we make it as simple as we possibly can, right? It needs food and water.
Food and water.
It's just like us. Right. Food, water, and air, right? So if you starve it of one of those, it won't grow. Same as us. If you don't give us food, we don't grow. Don't give us water, we don't grow.
So many times in a bathroom, though, it's not running your exhaust fan.
Right.
If you don't run the exhaust fan, and most people run the exhaust fan while they're in there, and then when they're done, they get out, they turn the exhaust fan off. Well, typically you should run that exhaust fan for at least an hour after you're done taking a shower.
You're still trying to remove the humid air that you just created.
It should continue to run. Some people are actually putting them on a timer now. They make timer switches for your exhaust fans. And one thing I see a lot in bathrooms with exhaust fans is they're not sized properly.
Yeah.
Or they're old and they're not clean. That's something that we do. We clean exhaust fans along with HVAC ducts. But
did you know 85% of financial success comes from soft skills abilities and only 15% from our technical abilities? SuperTech U was created by longtime restoration pros Eric Sprague and Larry Wilberton. Their daily 3 to 5 minute videos train your entire company on the soft skills they need to make your business thrive. Plus, your entire team earns IICRC CEC credits, all for about the cost of one tank of gas.
To get more information about SuperTech University and receive a special 6-lesson e-course on in-home sales, go to supertechu.com/podcast offer. Again, get your free in-home sales training at supertechu.com /podcast offer.
A lot of variables to factor in is why mold keeps coming back, why sometimes we can just clean it off, and sometimes we got to cut it out. You know what I mean? To get a little more invasive, because there might be a bigger problem. There might be a structural issue going on, you know, in behind it. So, you know, that all starts with an inspection. That's
right.
From the IICRC, it starts with an inspection.
Part of Jim's inspection is a discussion with the homeowner about allergies, medical conditions, breathing conditions, stuff like that. Because a lot of those are exacerbated by allergies and allergens in the air in your home. You know, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about some health risks that you talk about in your in-depth inspections.
Well, I mean, the health risks are going to, be determined on how allergic are you to stuff. So some people are just allergic to everything, and they're very sensitive to any type of mold, which could cause sneezing, coughing, things like that.
I'm the same way.
Runny nose, itchy eyes. Yeah. Some people call us and they go, "Look, we just bought this home. We love the home. As soon as I walk in the door, I start having a reaction."
That's me. That's me. I know when I come into your home and I'm there for a mold inspection, I can tell you within minutes of being there, my nose starts to get stuffy, it starts to run, my eyes itch, the back of my throat's itching. I know that it's there within minutes of being there. I'm just highly sensitive to it.
Yeah, and most molds, I mean, are okay.
Yeah.
They're semi-toxic at normal levels, but the problem is when you have prolonged exposure, to dangerous types of mold, and elevated, types of semi-toxic mold can cause some problems down the road. It can cause brain fog, fatigue, chronic sinus problems that you'll live with forever. Mold toxicity, extreme cases, it gets in your blood and start losing your memory and starts eating you, just like it's eating everything else.
Problem is, it doesn't happen overnight, right?
It doesn't.
It occurs in a longevity deal that by the time you've got chronic sinus issues, you just figure it's the weather change and where we live, and But gotta pay attention to it, right? You touched on structural damage a moment ago. We were just talking about an inspection you did just last week where, well, do you have to take my bathtub out? Oh, yeah, your mold ate a hole in the floor. It will, left alone and it's not attended to, it will cause structural issues in your home. And if this homeowner does not deal with this, his bathtub will end up in the first floor. You got to deal with this.
I mean, when you let it go and you kind of see you have an active leak and you turn a blind eye at it, the longer you let it go, the more damage it's going to cause, and it gets quite pricey when you start having to do structural repairs to your home because the mold is eating through the joist systems and into the framing of the home, and so time is always of the essence. You got to pay attention to those areas where you have water fixtures in the kitchens and the bathrooms. And, if you see things that are going on, deal with it. Give us a call. Happy to come out and give you a fair assessment and kind of broaden the horizon on what we think is going to need to be done in these cases. Again, we're always using our nose. We're using our nose for musty odors. We're looking for discoloration on the drywall, on the flooring, things like that. And of course, we have, state-of-the-art metering devices. We do thermal imaging to help us, find moisture in behind the walls where our other types of moisture meters can't read that deep. So we have ways of, being creative to find it. So. Structural damage, you got to pay attention to that. There's visible threats. And once mold becomes airborne, it spreads through the home. It might be on the wall over here, but it's in the air. Mold's invisible. Most of the time what you see isn't the actual mold. That's the feces, the byproduct.
The byproduct. The byproduct.
as it eats and continues to feed and has a feeding frenzy. Mold and mildew are both fungus, but they don't like to share that same area. So once they're both there, that's when you really start seeing those colorful displays. They kind of go to war with one another. Yeah, air quality testing is really the only way to determine if you have an abnormal, intrusion of mold. An air quality test, they come in and run a pump and gather the particulates in the air, send it to a lab, look at it under a microscope, and they actually go in there and they count, the types of spores. And when you have a mold report that comes back with elevated mold, we're not just dealing with this spot on the wall. The whole room is affected. So
right.
Yeah, time is always of the essence.
I was just talking about this yesterday about cleaning, right? You have to go wherever air can touch. The example I was talking about yesterday, we were talking about cleaning the kitchen, and the homeowner was questioning why we pulled out their drawers, their kitchen drawer, cleaned everything in it, flipped it over, cleaned the bottom and cleaned everything, because the common conception is, or misconception, conception, whichever way you want to go with it. I mean, the fact is, why do we have to clean the bottom of my drawer when I'm cleaning for mold? The basic explanation here is that we need to clean for mold wherever air can get.
Yeah.
Right? Because that spore travels through air and lands wherever. Right. You can't see it. When the spore lands, you can't see it. It's not visible to the naked eye. So when we're cleaning, we're very, very particular on cleaning standards. Yeah. Right? We call it new way clean is what we call it. When we're talking to the technicians, we want it new way clean, right? But yeah, you do. Logic to the normal person is, what do I need to clean the bottom of the kitchen drawer for? Well, in our training, we know that you need to clean wherever air can get to.
And
you're talking about duct work. You talk about everything. Everything. You talk about couches and chairs, hard surfaces, carpet.
Yep.
All of that stuff.
Duct work is really what helps to spread it.
Yeah.
You have a forced air furnace in the basement, a wet basement, mold everywhere. The furnace is pulling that in and it's distributing it to the other areas of the home that you wouldn't think would be affected. So that is like the highway for mold to travel on through your home. Again, relative humidity is probably the biggest thing. And once we have relative humidity that's up above 60%, that's enough moisture in the air alone, without having a water damage or a leaky foundation. That's enough moisture in the air for mold to start colonizing and feeding on those organic materials. So, it's important to have HVAC in your home. If you live, in a crazy climate area like we do, where relative humidity's up and down, you have to run that air conditioner in the summertime.
Yeah, very conditioned air.
It's not always good to just open up the windows and think that everything's going to be okay. Because again, the science in it is above 60% relative humidity, then we're going to start having a problem. We want to keep that relative humidity between 40-50%. That's a good standard. We use our HVAC to control that.
Problem is, you use HVAC to control it in the living spaces, but a lot of times it goes unrecognized, untreated. The air is not conditioned in basements and crawl spaces, right? So I've lost count at this point. I don't even know how many or crawl space encapsulation and mold remediation that we've done this year. But it's a lot. Every time I turn around, there's another dehumidifier in the garage that's being delivered to be installed. But, conditioned air is a big deal. Where we live, there's several hundred, maybe thousands of vacation rental homes that are not always occupied, right? So they may go unoccupied for several months until the next renter or the next season comes in, and that's not necessarily being conditioned correctly.
Well, no, they're trying to save a buck.
So second homes, even if it's not just a vacation rental house, it's a second home issue, right? Lots of people don't condition the air properly, when they're not living in that home.
That's right. It'll save on the energy cost and
Yeah.
turn the air off. It's not there, it's not going to be a problem.
I think that's a good transition to here. You know, how do you prevent it? Number one is conditioning the air, keeping your relative humidity down as low as we can get it, through whatever measure that is, whether it's dehumidification or if it's air conditioning or if it's air flow, whatever, air exchange, whatever we're talking about.
Did you know 85% of financial success comes from soft skills abilities and only 15% from our technical abilities? SuperTech U was created by longtime restoration pros Eric Sprague and Larry Wilberton. Their daily 3 to 5 minute videos train your entire company on the soft skills they need to make your business thrive. Plus, your entire team earns IICRC CEC credits, all for about the cost of 1 tank of gas.
To get more information about SuperTech University and receive a special 6-lesson e-course on in-home sales, go to supertechu.com/podcast offer. Again, get your free in-home sales training at supertechu.com/podcast offer.
Yeah, promptly deal with water leaks and things like that. It's those slow leaks that you don't see that cause the biggest problems.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize you have it until you start seeing your hardwood floor buckling under your refrigerator where your ice maker line had a drip.
Yeah.
Drip. It might have taken a year for that drip to cause damage.
To become a big enough problem to visually see it.
Yeah.
Right?
So, pay attention to, the areas where you have water fixtures in the home. Make sure you have proper ventilations in those kitchens and bathrooms where, we're bringing in moist air, we're cooking and taking showers, and, do your preventative maintenance. Just like you get your oil change and your air filter changed in your car, your home needs preventative maintenance as well.
You and I and customers, we talk about DIY remediation all the time. All the time. All the time. A lot of times it's sticker shock because mold remediation is not cheap. We can help you with those. We have opportunities for financing. We can do some stuff now, some stuff later. We can work with you, but the reality is that it's not cheap, right? So a lot of times we'll do it. Jim will go out and do an inspection, and then they're like, oh, and get a little sticker shock, and try to go do it themselves.
Can I just put some bleach on it?
Welcome to YouTube, right?
Bleach. Put some bleach on it.
Just put some bleach on it. Jim, what's the first thing they taught us in antimicrobial technician class? What do they teach us?
To not use bleach.
What does bleach do to mold?
Bleach.
Everybody pay attention?
Bleach will. It will sanitize.
It takes the color out of it.
It takes the color out of things.
It does not kill mold.
It does not disinfect.
Yeah.
Okay. It's more or less a stain remover, and we use stain removers that are similar. They're formulated sort of like bleach is, but it's more to just get a stain out. Bleach is not going to kill it. It's not going to cure all. So. You have to use proper disinfectants, in some cases biocides, to kill the mold and abate it, remove it from the area.
There's lots of DIY stuff out on the internet.
There is.
There's lots and lots. I've seen Clorox, I've seen bleaches, I've seen vinegar.
Vinegar? Vinegar's a big one.
Vinegar is just going to make your house smell like vinegar.
And it's just going to sanitize it.
I've seen a lot of DIY. So that's what happens is, we get a little sticker shock from us, and we try not to give you the sticker shock. We try to talk to you about why it's necessary. But we'll get the phone call later when it comes back, because it does not take long for it to come back, and we'll be happy to come help you. We understand.
Sure.
We understand that dollars and cents mean something today. So we'll be here to help. We talked about the importance of acting quickly, because it spreads fast and it will come back quickly. The one I was talking about in the bathroom ceiling, it came back in about a week. It didn't take long. Because it's still eating, right?
Yeah.
You know what we didn't talk about, Jim? What's the smell?
The smell. That smell is like, we call it mold farts.
It's farts, isn't it?
It's metabolic gas.
That's exactly what it is. It's called mold farts, right?
You know, we categorize it in remediation. There's 3 states. There's 3 conditions that we're paying attention to. A condition 1 state is basically normal ecology, which you breathe outside on a normal basis. A condition 2 state is when you've had a water leak or a moisture problem and you can see that residual byproduct, but it's dry. You can't smell anything, just you see it. So they call that condition 2, where you just have settled spores that aren't necessarily active. Now, to the stink,
yeah,
this is condition 3.
If you can smell it, let me tell you what's going on. It's eating.
Giving that feces, it's dropping that byproduct, it's giving off poisonous mycotoxin, and you're smelling it. So once you start smelling it, you are being directly exposed to whatever that type of mold is.
Yeah, whatever it is. So I think that brings us into our wrap up, right? We want to encourage, the 9 of you that are listening to us. Thanks, Mom, Dad, my kids. We want to encourage you to inspect your home for signs of mold regularly. There is a call to action here, and it's just because you don't want it to get to the expensive state. You don't want it to get to the intrusive state. You definitely don't want to get it to the structural damage state.
You don't want Jim showing up at the door.
Yeah. Somebody explained Jim the other day as, man, Jim, I don't like it when you come to my job site. It's because Jim brings news. Jim brings information.
Truth.
And truths, and not everybody wants to hear it. But we're here to tell you the truth, right? I'd much rather sleep at night knowing that I told you the truth, and let you, mull through it and work on that information and do what you see fit. That's fine, but truth, right?
Truth. We take it very seriously.
When you look at when you look at your home and you find something, not everything's mold. It's just not. Some are allergens and stuff like that. Some are just stuff that it comes out of the air. So if you're doing your own personal inspection and you find something, reach out to Jim.
Yeah, give us a call.
In your town, reach out to the gym in your town, right? We want to promote awareness of the risks that it presents. Not only does it present health risks, it presents structural damage to your homes, and it's just doing what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to decay.
It is, and
right?
your home is that biggest investment you ever make in your life, and there's nothing worse other than having a mold problem or having a fire in your home.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a tree falling in.
Maybe a tree, yeah.
Mold is bad to have in your home. It gets very pricey. So pay attention to your home. If you're seeing things that you're not sure of, Facebook and Google search. Give your gym in your area a call. Most folks will come out and give you a free, fair inspection and assessment and start helping you develop that path to remediation to make sure your home's going to get back to normal and have better air quality.
Yeah. So if you're smelling mold farts, don't wait to address the problem. I think we're wrapping up for today, Jim.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us for the Standing Water Podcast with New Way Restoration and Cleaning. I'm Bill. That's the Gooch. Have a great day. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.